If you are a trauma survivor, someone that grew up in less than an ideal childhood situation where you never learned boundaries, the importance of self-care, and never saw any examples of healthy relationships as you grew up, well, you are more likely to end up in relationships with people that are emotionally immature because you don't really know what healthy dating looks like. And dating emotionally damaged people will always leave you feeling unhappy and your needs will never be met. So to break this cycle, you need to know what traits to look out for and to avoid before you enter your next relationship. Stay tuned. Hey, my name is Dani De Silves and I am here to help you find a way to reparent yourself so that you are thriving and not surviving. But first, let's get the elephant out the room. Now, of course, we are not taking into account the needs of the other person in today's video because today's focus is just about you and making sure that your needs are met and that you end those bad cycles that you grew up in. The thing is this, if you are already battling your own wounds and reopening scars from your past, and you are having to relive trauma of someone else's life, you will never give yourself the full recovery time so that you can grow as a person. Your focus right now is your self-growth and reparenting, and letting someone else in your life that is emotionally unhealthy will only trigger you and you won't get the love that you deserve. And remember, you are not responsible for your partner's healing either. So if you are already in a relationship and spot these traits, it doesn't mean you have to continue with your needs not being met any longer. It may be as well that you resonate with all the points in this video and you think, wow, I'm the emotionally damaged one. And if that's so, that's okay. This is the start of self-awareness, so you understand what you need to do or stop doing so that you can just relax and actually appreciate living life. Okay, let's get ready. The first trait is someone moves too quick in the relationship. I cannot stress this enough because I have been through it so many times. You should never feel pushed to do something that you don't want to do. And if you're starting to date someone or you are already dating and this person tries to rush you to do things that you aren't comfortable doing, it's a huge red flag. Because someone that respects you and loves you for you should be happy to go at the speed of the relationship that you feel is good enough for you in that moment. So this applies to someone that tries to rush things in terms of, bedroom stuff. They're trying to persuade you to say that you love them back. They try to propose under a year. Now, we do this when we have a low self-esteem. We kind of feel that if we have everything all at once, we are going to feel tremendously good. We're going to have so much love and feel secure. But yeah, that's not healthy and that's not really how it works. If you are planning to be with someone for the rest of your life, does it matter if you wait an extra 16 months before you move in together or 2 years before you get engaged? You have your firework honeymoon period where you are completely infatuated by someone. You spend all of your time with them, you feel wrapped up in a love bubble, and in these moments, you need to not make long-term permanent decisions. So if you are feeling the fireworks and butterflies, you're going to get that in every relationship. It's not a one-of-a-kind thing. So do not adopt animals in those first couple of months. Don't move in, don't even buy succulent plants together. We were created all those thousands of years ago to steal that infatuation feeling. We wanted those butterflies, we harnessed them in to make babies, but we don't live in that society anymore where we can just meet someone quickly and then have a baby. We've got a lot more stuff going on. These types of people that rush for love are depending to get all of that love from you. They will be extremely needy. You are going to see they are jealous too when you hang out with someone else. They want you to give them all of your attention. Now understand that this is not actually love. It's just the person trying to get validation and manipulating you to resolve their unmet needs. So if someone talks about marriage and talks about having kids and you guys haven't maintained that long-term 6-month relationship, this is a huge red flag. I was once on a date with a guy and we sat down drinking hot chocolate. It was a cold winter day, so yeah, hot chocolate was perfect for it. And he actually said on the first date that he was looking forward to me meeting his parents. Now, we hadn't known each other for more than 2 weeks, and I just found it very creepy and weird, and I never saw him again. So if this happens to you and someone has that attachment trauma style, get your butt out of there. Their past talk. Someone that has experienced a traumatic past that hasn't resolved it will always bring that up frequently. They will always talk about the time mum left them at the supermarket, the time someone broke into their house. Now, I'm not saying that these things are a reason that you should avoid dating people, because some of us do have traumatic past, but then we work on ourselves and we are dateable. I'm just saying look out for the person that hasn't really dealt and put things to rest. If you never actually accept your past, it's always going to bring itself up in the present. It will always be a hot topic that you notice this person will constantly kind of bring into fruition. You will notice that during arguments, they will always bring up their past. You could say to them, hey, what you said really hurt me before. Or maybe you embarrassed me today in front of my friends when you said that horrible thing. Now, the person will actually struggle to apologize and instead brings back everything that happened 5 years ago and say, but this is who I am because of this situation. I can't change it. And this is when you do need to walk away or heavily consider dating this person, because they need some form of therapy so that they can understand and just accept the past and leave it be. You will also notice that this person brings up the same topic of conversation, which leaves you thinking, oh, I'm so exhausted of this, when is he gonna stop? And this is just them using you as a form of talk therapy. They are hoping that you will listen to them and self-soothe them because they don't have those skills themselves. Speaking of self-soothing, let's talk about them expecting you to be the fixer-upper person. If you end up dating someone that does not have their own healthy coping skills and understands what boundaries are and self-soothing, they will always be expecting you to fix them. They almost replace you with the parent that didn't do a good enough job. So if they have mummy issues, you automatically become mother. If they had daddy issues, they expect you to be the fatherly figure and do things which are, well, yeah, motherly and fatherly. Every relationship is about compromise, and it's okay to help your partner work through those past issues. But if they are giving you a tremendous amount of responsibility to fix them and they are expecting you to act different than what a romantic partner would be, it's very, very toxic. Very, very unhealthy. You are going to notice this in how they expect you to handle their decisions and choices. Instead of them having a backbone and doing things, they will ask you to do things that seem unreasonable. They will struggle to make their own decisions, and they always ask you to call the shots. And deep down, if you feel that you have almost stepped up in the parental role and you are acting like their mother or father, it's because, well, yeah, they've manipulated you into doing that. And this is when you need to think, you know what, this is not good, I'm leaving. They will assume that their issues always come first. No matter what emotional state you are in, their needs are always far more important. And a lot of times, those that come into a relationship and expect to be fixed are those that have the attachment trauma wounds. And if they don't ever resolve these feelings, they will continue to relive those cycles over and over, trying to get a new person to almost give them a Disney-like relationship and just smooth all the bad bumps over. And sadly, you don't ever get that. You can't expect a romantic person to be your parent. It's unhealthy and it is impossible. They are never really fully present. Maybe you've noticed that this person is forcing you to take them on holiday, to move in together and get engaged. But when you actually sit down and you think about the whole of the relationship, you will always feel that something's missing, and that's because there is. And they agree to everything that you suggest. They never even think to plan holidays. They don't think to plan ahead for things. Now that's because it doesn't cross their mind. It's not that they don't like you and they don't want to do these things. It's because they are so emotionally damaged that they are stuck in survival mode. And life for them is so scary that they are constantly surviving. They are just covering the basics. And having to think outside of their own lives and try to plan a holiday for you and this person, it just doesn't exist. Now, the majority of the time, these people do feel the benefits of being in relationships because they like feeling loved, but deep down, they don't really want that relationship. They just can't be alone, which is why they can't think about your side of the relationship. They say, I used to be this or I used to be that. If you find yourself on a date or talking with someone who you are supposed to be creating a life with, and they are making out that the best version of them is long gone, that person's dead, the best years of their life has been and gone, and they have a heavy nostalgia for those many years ago in the past, well, this is someone you should not be investing your time into. It could be they talk about their life being so much better when they had a perfect, healthy body. You will notice this person always wants to share photographs with you about their past. And they always want to bring up past stories frequently to a point where it really does start to bug you. And you're like, why are we talking about this thing again? We did this 3 weeks ago. Why? Like, I get it. You're in a band. That's brilliant. Can we move on and finish our dinner? Deep down, this person has accepted that they are not going to grow anymore. They are not excited about the future or the future that you guys have together because, well, they just feel that that's it. They've lived their best life. It basically means you are never going to grow with them and you are not going to get your needs met. You are going to feel, well, you're not going to feel anything really apart from sadness and loneliness. Trash talk their exes. Pretty sure you probably knew this one was going to come up on the list. Now, sometimes we have dated terrible, abusive people, so of course we don't really have many nice things to say or anything that's nice that stands out. But you have to pay attention to how they actually address their ex-partner, which is your biggest clue. Do they address their ex-partners and they kind of say something like, you know what, it wasn't brilliant, it was a bad time of my life, I was abused by them, but I've accepted it and I've overcome it. If they say something like that, it's healthy, you can continue to date them. But instead, if they address them in a horrible name, there's some slander, they talk about how their time was so bad and that they were such a terrible person, it kind of shows they've not accepted it. Now, just very quickly, let's address acceptance so you understand. It doesn't mean that just because something bad happened to you that you have to agree with someone's actions. It just means, you know what, I've accepted it. I can't resolve that situation. It didn't play out how I wanted it to go, but I'm no longer going to let it hurt me. I've locked it away, I've dealt with it, the demons have gone, and I don't care for it anymore. That is a healthy mindset about past issues. Attachment trauma. Oh baby, you should have seen this one coming. You need to be identifying people immediately and figuring out what attachment style they have because that is going to greatly warn you how the rest of the relationship is going to be. If you are the anxious type, you are going to date the avoidant. If you are avoidant, vice versa. So first of all, understand what attachment style you have and then try to recognize it in other people because you are going to always have a very dynamic, very unsatisfying relationship if you do date the wrong people. Now, attachment trauma is a whole other video, but there are 2 books that I have read. I read them all the time. They are brilliant. And if you aren't a reader, you can listen to the audiobook versions. And I will post the link down in the description bar. And that is Attached, The New Science of Adult Attachment by Amir Levine. I absolutely love it. And also Wired for Love by Stan Tatkin, which is phenomenal. So please go buy those books and read them. These people avoid your VIPs. Someone that avoids your very important people is someone that is dealing with a lot of low self-esteem and jealousy. And they don't want to get to know these other people. They won't go to birthday parties. They will purposely be really awkward if you do go out in a group setting. They will trash talk your friends and family. They will try to get you to stop hanging out with them. They do not rely on you. You should never be expecting to rely on your partner. However, in some moments you can. You are not waiting for them to fix you and resolve your traumas. They are not there to heal your broken bones and to fix your open wounds. They are there to be loved by you and you are there to love them and you both have your support bubble of love and you make it work. Once upon a time, these people had extremely traumatic situations that they experienced and there wasn't someone in their corner fighting for them. So because of that, they grew up alone, extremely self-sufficient. So they had no one to depend on. Therefore, they are not used to asking for help. So they would do things and you will never come into that equation. They don't share their emotions, they don't share what they like, they don't say when they aren't feeling great, and sometimes they can do lots of stuff without consoling you. They could literally move house and never ask for help, and you're like, why didn't you call me? We're dating. Like, I could have given you my truck and driven you there. What the hell? They have anger issues. Does it feel that you are walking on eggshells and holding back from topics because of how angry they get or how quickly they become angry? This is a sign of unresolved trauma. And anger, it's a natural emotion. And of course, it's not as if I'm saying if someone's angry, avoid them. We are allowed to feel angry. But it's how that anger causes destruction that you need to be aware of. Do they get angry and lash out? Are they saying negative things to you? Do they have constant mood swings? If so, please get yourself out of there. And did you know that anger is a secondary emotion, which means we feel a heavy emotion first, and then if we can't resolve it or the pain is far too much, the anger submerges. So deep down, this person is uber controlling and angry all the time, when in fact, it's because you probably triggered her without realizing, or triggered him and did something that overwhelmed them with so much sadness, they couldn't deal with it and became angry. They make you feel guilty all of the time. Sometimes it seems as if they control everything you do. They put you down, say that your choices aren't good enough, that you need to love them better, that you aren't doing enough. And you could give them the world. You could spend tons of money on them. You could give them 2 solid months where you do everything they ask and it will not be enough. And they will still make you feel guilty about not loving hard enough, when in actual fact, you really are working hard, but nothing is good enough. And the guilt that they give you is going to really hurt you. And it's only because they have unresolved issues and you cannot fix. Nothing you do will ever be good enough, and you need to understand that. Remember, you are not responsible for someone else's healing or even their emotions. So that sums up today's video, and please, if you are interested, take a look at the 2 books that I recommended for attachment theory. They have helped me amazingly, and I read them countless amount of times. The link is in the description bar below. I hope you have an amazing day. Like and subscribe. See you soon.